Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're turning the clock way, way back. I mean, millions of years before a T-Rex even thought about walking the Earth. We're talking about a version of our planet that was home to completely unthinkable, totally alien-looking animals. It literally looked like a different world. So, picture this ancient world for a second. What actually walked the Earth before us? Well, thanks to some absolutely incredible fossil records, we don't have to just guess anymore. Paleontologists have uncovered a cast of creatures that are so weird and wonderful, you'd swear they were pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going on a fast-paced journey today across three wildly different eras. We'll start in the bizarre, deep oceans of 500 million years ago, jump forward to the massive insects from 300 million years ago, and finally check out the huge megamammals from just 10,000 years ago. Section 1. Monsters of the Deep, 500 to 480 million years ago. Let's contrast two absolute oddities here. First, the Opabinia. Now, this guy was tiny, just about 6 centimeters, but get this, it had 5 eyes on stalks, 5, and a long trunk it used to forage around in the mud. Then you've got the Tullywanster. This creature also had eyes on strange stalks, plus a jawless mouth covered in teeth right on its trunk. It actively hunted jellyfish, and it's actually believed to be the lost ancestor of modern-day Great Lakes lampreys. Moving on to about 480 million years ago, the seas were swarming with Aegirocasses. These were massive, giant lobster-like creatures that grew up to 7 feet long. That is taller than most humans. And the wildest part? These beautifully preserved fossils were found right in the middle of the Sahara Desert. It's just a mind-blowing reminder of how drastically Earth's continents have shifted over time. Still in those deep ancient oceans, we have to talk about Hallucigenia. This was a small, extinct, caterpillar-like worm that walked the seafloors of what is now Canada and China. Its appearance was so completely alien that for the longest time, scientists literally didn't know where to place it on the tree of life. It completely confused them. That is, until they finally found evolutionary links to modern-day velvet worms. Section 2. The reign of giant bugs 300 million years ago. Can you even imagine the stress of trying to survive alongside the bugs of the Paleozoic period? I mean, why did they get so big? Well, scientists speculate it all comes down to higher oxygen levels. Back then, Earth's atmosphere essentially acted like a biological supercharger, creating the absolute perfect conditions for these arthropods to reach horrifyingly large sizes. Just how big are we talking? Try 2.6 meters. Yep, that's the length of giant ancient millipedes found in the UK and Germany. At that size, they were roughly the length of a car. And get this, they weighed the exact same as a large modern-day dog. It's literally the stuff of nightmares. And honestly, looking up into the air wasn't any better. Picture giant Paleozoic dragonflies buzzing around the warm, ancient forests of France with a wingspan of 71 centimeters. That's well over 2 feet across. They were flying around long before the dinosaurs even existed, making them some of the largest known insects to ever live. Let's move to and see how this builds in our next era. Section 3. Rise of the Megamammals, 24 million to 12,000 years ago. Now, when we think of modern sloths, we automatically picture those small, incredibly slow-moving plant eaters hanging in trees, right? Well, scrap that image. Between 1.8 million and 12,000 years ago, giant ground sloths completely dominated South America. These absolute giants were as tall as a giraffe and weighed more than a grizzly bear. And wait for it, paleontologists actually believe these enormous prehistoric beasts were scavenging meat eaters. Finally, rounding out our megamammals, we have the gomphotheres. These magnificent mammals lived in grassy areas across Central Asia from 24 million all the way up to just 10,000 years ago. Now, if you saw one, you'd instantly think, oh, that's an elephant. But despite looking almost exactly like them, they actually belong to a completely distinct, entirely extinct family. Nature is just amazing like that. Section 4. Reviving the Prehistoric Past, a Thought Experiment. So looking back at the sheer scale of the history we've just covered in this explainer, from tiny five-eyed mud foragers and literally car-sized millipedes, all the way to massive meat-eating sloths, it leaves us with a really provocative thought experiment. If you had the power to do it, which of these extinct animals would you bring back to life? A 7-foot lobster or maybe a massive dragonfly? Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me. Keep learning and keep wondering about this incredibly bizarre world beneath our feet.